Hey everybody! How's it going out there? Welcome to another episode of Learning to Live. It's me, Dustin, and Silver PC.
Widely requested.
Widely requested. Huge following. Thank you everybody out there for enjoying and giving us such good feedback yesterday.
Much love.
Much love. It was so awesome, and we appreciate you guys, and we're here for you. So help us, help you. You ever seen Jerry Maguire? Help me, help you. Help me, help you, right?
Yeah.
There you go. So me and Ilyas are back together again. Back again.
Tag team.
Like we mentioned yesterday, let us do the talking.
Yeah.
That's the topic.
Yeah.
We're tired of the talking heads. Let us do the talking, right?
Let the common man speak.
It is time. It is time to be heard, right? It's time to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
All right? There we go. There we go. No more Sean Hannity or Chris Como or any of that garbage.
We're good.
No.
We're good on that.
We got Dustin and Silver PC.
School.
All right, guys. So, what we're going to be talking about today is, we had a lot of feedback from parents, and, it was a positive experience. It always is with this guy. He is the best son ever, but, just lots of people. Oh, thank you, son. But, lots of people just wondering, what makes this work? Why does it click? And especially during this, coronavirus pandemic where we're quarantined and everything, now is the time for families to really work things out
and bond.
Yeah, and come together.
Because we're all trapped in here, so might as well do it.
It's a trap.
Yeah, it's a trap,
right? It is. We're legitimately. I got my Baja Blast again. I'm addicted. It's zero though. It's zero.
It is zero.
Yes, it is zero. So sweet. But thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. We'd really appreciate, anybody's there. Give us some shout outs on the, interactive chats.
Chat away.
We'll be watching, and, we'll comment back and
drop some questions if you got them as well.
Yeah, if you got any questions, please.
Because this is more than a two-man conversation.
Yes, no. This is nationwide, worldwide, universe-wide, maybe?
I would say
little Area 51 stuff?
Yeah,
if you are out there, way out there, you can contact us.
Probably
drop a comment, subscribe. Hey, we'll take any subscribers.
Probably some Martians that hacked into the American government.
You never know, but hey, they can learn from us too.
There we go.
Right? Yeah. So, to get back to the topic, how I kind of want to guide this is, there was so much feedback from parents, talking about, hey, you guys have a good relationship, and you seem open and loving, and I want to get Ilyas's feedback on this, and maybe he can give feedback to parents of, I'm going to put me and my wife out there, what we've done good, what we've done, not so good, opportunities for growth, if you will, and so we're just going to kind of work through that and talk about that today. I think that'll be a, fruitful, experience. And so first I want to, kind of talk about the areas where you think that, my mom or your mom and me have kind of had areas where we need to grow and where we can support you more, especially during this kind of isolative time. And you know how it is, dude. Lay it out.
Yeah.
Throw the smack down. No, that's one thing that's very, I think, productive and healthy about our family is we don't wear our feelings on a sleeve. You know what I mean? We respect each other. We love each other. We know that. But we all are growing and know that we're kind of all on equal ground. There's certain things. Obviously, we got to make the rules, kind of. But we're on equal ground, and we want to hear feedback from each other. So, where are the areas where, me and your mother opportunities for growth?
Let's see. I'd say when there's when the environment in the house is serene and all that, I say you guys do very well. But when there's a tiny bit of conflict or something like that, that is when you guys go into your fight or flight responses almost. You know what I mean? For you, if something doesn't happen according to plan, you sometimes freak out, I think is
Yes.
the word.
No. That's accurate.
And,
Very accurate, by the way.
and then kind of the same thing with my mom. If something doesn't go exactly according to how it was, like how we kind of planned it out.
Yeah.
Like then she will lose it almost. Like she'll be like, and then she'll be like,
and wait till you meet Rashida.
oh boy,
She can lose it. But
she
she
can.
is the most amazing lady ever.
Yep, she's I love her so
But
much.
yeah, no. So keep going. Yeah.
So in those scenarios, I'd say you guys, that's an opportunity for growth. I'd say
Mhm.
like as to how you would practice getting better at that, you may. It's uncomfortable, but you may have to like expose yourself into those situations a little bit more.
Perfect. He's going to school to be a psychiatrist eventually. So here, this is perfect practice. And believe me, me and his mother are good guinea pigs. There's lots of opportunity to learn with us.
Yeah,
So,
there are some experiments going on.
Awesome.
And of course it's naturally going to be uncomfortable, but like in order to progress and become better as humans, you may have to like expose yourself into these situations. It's like as weird as they are, I guess you could say.
Yeah, no, that's very helpful. And you know, so specifically, like, okay, so how does it make you feel when we flip out?
It feels like this energy
as a son,
Yeah.
as a, you know,
it feels like as a spectator, I guess you could say, of what's going on here.
but it affects you.
Yeah, it does
Because
affect me.
we're your safety, and you know that's what kind of telling people out there too. I'm sure maybe we're the only ones, but I think there's probably other people out there that freak out when things don't go exactly right. And you know, from the kids' perspective, you know, how does that feel?
Okay, so
Honestly, come on, you know, like lay out. You know,
I can say this from like I'll do two versions. One from like I'm attached to
and I will protect you if your mom comes down here with a baseball.
Oh no. I'll say it from an attached viewpoint and a detached viewpoint.
Okay. Okay, sounds good.
So
yeah.
I'll start with the detached one. I'd say like when I'm watching you guys like kind of flip out, I would say like this energy could be like put towards something more constructive rather than like freaking out about what went wrong or what could have went better or something like that. You know, like this energy that you guys are putting forward could be put to making the situation better for everybody, I think. You know?
Yeah.
And then from an attached viewpoint, I'm like, come on guys, we can do this, we can make this better, just like simmer down, you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Like specifically, like do you and I hopefully we've laid the groundwork that, you know, the security that we've always emphasized, that when we freak out about that,
that is like
it's on us.
Yeah,
this has nothing to do with you. It's not okay. But you know, accountability, I think, is very, very important, and it's kind of something that I'm gonna move up here, be a little taller. You make me feel short, sir. Yes. Now we're a little better. Okay. No. But seriously, you know, I think we're accountable, but like just giving us that feedback, you know, is there a code word you'd like to give us or anything, or does it really usually end up working itself out? That's just kind of an opportunity.
When you guys go into these fight or flight responses, it's, from what I understand, it's typically like a shorter duration, I guess you could say, than like the other, like majority of other people out there. Like,
thank you.
It's probably smaller than like what I have too. Though I think my fight or flight response might be like it's kind of a trade-off where like my fight or flight response is longer lasting, but it like happens more rare.
Right.
But I like
which I hope is not a product of you storing up.
Oh no, not at all. Like, and that's also
we
something,
always, you know, and this
this
is one thing that I think,
that's something we'll get into later on with like communication and all that. I feel like we're definitely really good with communication.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, right? But you know, there's always room to grow, and you know, we got people watching, you know, like help them learn from our mistakes. I mean, that's what this is all about. We need to be sharing. We need to be, you know, helping each other out, especially during this time. You know, like I said, it's a perfect opportunity when everybody's together to learn from each other.
Absolutely.
And to grow.
Absolutely.
And you know, so what that's pretty much it. No real specific.
Because I don't think like those responses that you guys have to something going wrong is necessarily like I don't think it requires like a code word for you guys to chill out or anything.
Yeah.
It's not like where,
it de-escalates pretty quick.
Yeah, and it's not like Black Widow telling Hulk like it's sun's going it's like sun's going down or anything like that.
You rub my hands
Like Hulk.
Yeah,
you know what I said?
Not necessarily like that.
A lullaby.
A lullaby, yeah.
No.
Man, I haven't watched that movie in a long time.
Yeah, we need to hit that again. Totally. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. No, we're big Marvel fans.
Big. But outside of that, yeah, I think you guys are pretty good. Honestly.
Okay. All right. So now the part that I like, what have we done right? Because really, I think that, and that's why I want to do this. I really think that me and your mom, and your portion of it too, as a family, I think we've prepared well for this like coronavirus quarantine where we're kind of thriving together.
Yeah.
And I think there might be, and that's why I kind of want to give tips to people who might not be, at any point in time, this can be turned around. It took work for us. It took adjustment for us. A couple examples that I'll give a little later when we hopefully go into the positives, but, yeah, I want to share. I want you guys to thrive. I want your families to grow and strengthen. I'm so blessed with this amazing boy and my wife, who you guys will meet eventually too, but and I'm sorry guys, like my gotta stop, man. When I was watching the video, come on.
We all got those filler words, I think I'm big on as well.
Oh, well, we're the family.
We are the family.
So anyways, to go back to it, all right, the good part. How about
the good part? So I can think of 3 off the top of my head already.
Woo!
Look at that. It's a high score over there.
Yeah, no doubt.
So one of those communication.
From downtown.
We talked about a little bit earlier, communication. I think we're very good at communicating, like how we feel about certain situations, what we can do better, what we're doing really well at, and what we want to do for the future. I think we're very good at that in the house.
Specifically to kind of tell people like what do you do as a child, and how do we make that environment, your mother and me, how do we make that environment safe and open, and like specifically like let people know out there.
Say for example, there is like so I'm registering for next semester's classes, for example, right?
Yes.
Then like we typically have like a meeting, like a family meeting, and we talk about okay, so we take a look at the checklist that we need to get the classes done for credits in order to get like my diploma and all that.
Yeah.
So we take a look at the available classes that semester, because sometimes classes are like they go from season to season. Sometimes they're not available. Exactly. So we decide like, okay, so we can take this class in the winter time because this class is happening now and it's not going to happen again until this time next year, for example, And so we would communicate, and then we would sure, we may have some disagreements on what happens and all that, but we at the end we do come together with a common understanding of okay, these are the classes I should register for, and then we come out with a plan.
So when we do disagree,
yes.
So like when you want to take art and I say, dude, you need chemistry.
Exactly.
Okay.
Chemistry.
Doctor, medical school,
doctor, or something.
Yes, it's a requirement. Yeah. Okay, but like and then I come off and like, dude, you gotta take chemistry, even though you're taking like 4 other sciences. Okay, how does that work out? Where like from what how as a teenager, as I don't want to say child because you're not, as a young man.
Thank you, man.
You know what I mean? How do you when your dad jumps to his anxiety and like jumps to no, but you got to do this. Like, how do you how do you like view what I'm doing, and how do you make it like doable, and then we come to a good agreement, because we always do, and you're really good at it, and I know the answer, but I want you to tell them I don't want the answer to be from me.
Well, like as I mentioned earlier, when you're having those like anxiety moments and all that, we're like, oh, you gotta take this chemistry class now or something like that. Like as I said earlier, it's like it's short, and then afterwards, like you come down and you're realizing, and then you're more acceptable to like agreements and all that. So in those situations, I view it as like, okay, buddy, chill out a little bit and let me like speak my piece. But at the end of the day, we do always like come together after that. We have, because like here's the thing, after those responses that you have, like you're very understanding. You know what I mean? Like you're understanding. You're also still like giving off good debates for like your side of the thing versus like mine or my mom's, for example. You know. And so then after that, we would work it out civilly because we're a civil family.
Yes.
And after that happens, we would end up choosing one or the other. You know what I mean? It's just like it's what's the word that I'm looking for? It's like a synonym of civil, but I guess I can just say civil.
Yeah, no, civil works fine. So,
Yeah.
so kind of the way I wanted to bump you to go is like, I think that you realize, and your mother and I have both tried to emphasize that we're human beings too.
Yes.
We have flaws.
Mm-hmm.
We, and those flaws are okay.
Absolutely.
Please, parents, like, let your kids know that you're humans.
Mm-hmm.
Be secure enough to give them the safety to know that you make the wrong choices. Maybe emphasize things wrong or raise your voice a little more than you need to. But let them know, never justify that. Never never make them think that it's their fault.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
What it is, it's not a fault. It's that you're a human being, and I think that human side of things, I think that we all have, that we all collaborate and work together in, makes it work.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing that I can mention, going like as an offshoot of what you were saying in terms of communication, that I think we also do really well is like for parents, also make sure to not lose sight of your kid also being a human.
Exactly.
Because like they're not the.
We try to do that. Do we do that?
Yeah, we do that really well.
Okay, I think so too. Yeah. No, I totally think so too. I'm like, okay, where's this going?
I'm not like saying like it's a slight like okay parents and I like look at you. Or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But what's it called? So for
okay, parents.
Anyway, no,
yeah. Okay.
But seriously, you guys do this really well. But with conversations, they're not like arguments to be won against your kids. They're arguments to be like settled out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
I really don't even. I think the part of the problem is when that territory. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go.
But when that territorial thing comes up, that it's even an argument.
Mm-hmm.
This and then emotions get high, and people put up, dig in and put up their defenses and their borders and start arguing instead of realizing, I want you to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
You want you to succeed.
Let's figure out a way.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be. It can be. We can have different perspectives. We can even disagree.
Mm-hmm.
But what causes problems is when we lose sight of that the end game is really not my agenda. It's it's your success.
And it's
like
my
child's success.
And it's really easy to lose sight of that and say like, okay, I just want to get this argument out of the way and I just want to win it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, totally.
Like I've even had some of that feeling with my friends sometimes too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like it's hard, but it's definitely something that is key to having good communication with you, your friends, and your loved ones, and all that.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the key thing, and I like that you brought that up, son, because it's tough for some people to, make their friends and their parents equivalent species, if you will.
Yeah, because we're all human.
We are all human, and that you can see that communication and that respect that goes with your friends goes with us and goes with and we do the same thing, and I think it's very important, and please take note out there, parents, what Ilyas said about realize your children are humans too.
Yeah, like this is gonna be the
they're not my let's see, awards. They're not my what do you call that? They're not the what causes my need to have value or not to have value, to have success or to not have success. They're none of those things. Okay, they are truly individuals that we want to succeed.
Exactly.
And I think that that's very, very important.
Absolutely. So I think like another big thing, like the big thing about this, I think this conversation that we're having, the big takeaway is that like everyone's human.
Yes.
That's going to be the big thing. Like, even after we get outside, like, the communication point, and we talk about, like, the other 2 points that I think you guys do really well as well.
Yeah.
I think that's going to become, like, a prevalent thing. Like, okay, we're human, we can mess up, but then we're also still going to, like, find a commonality between each other and, like, be able to work things out. I think that's the major key.
Yes. No. I think that commonality, because at the end of the day, the commonality is we love each other.
Exactly.
We want each other to be successful. We want to be supportive.
Exactly.
You know, the problem is when I stick on that my way of being supportive is the way.
And, like, same with me and same with mom and, like, same with anybody, honestly.
No, that's totally a good perspective and everything.
Absolutely. It's just like it's just problems to be worked out, and we're all human, so we can all work it out. That's the way I view things, essentially. Another thing I think you guys do really well outside of communication is responsibility. I think you guys are very good at that. Like, you guys are good at determining, okay, this one is on us, this is one's on mom and dad, or this thing's on you. Like, you should like, make sure you get this done. And then
I am so glad you brought this up, because I so wanted to. You know, there's a perfect example in our family about this responsibility, and you know, I'll let Ilyas talk and let him go with it, but like, responsibility and accountability is key. But keep
absolutely
going.
like with like, as I think we talked about in the last live stream, like, I'm taking college online.
Yes.
So that's a very big thing in terms of responsibility. You have to be like you have to be disciplined in order to get your assignments done on time and done well.
Well, just to get in, you had to be successful and disciplined.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes,
I appreciate that.
I'm very proud of you. Very proud of you.
But, like, it gets, like, even tougher now, you know what I mean? Because, like, you're having constant classes, and, like, for me, I had to take. I'm taking this semester. I had 6 classes, if I'm counting right, for online. 2 of them are done. By the way, A's on those.
That's my boy. That's my boy.
But
so proud of him.
But it's like difficult, especially like with those classes, with those number of classes, and like with the sciences that I'm taking and all that. You have to be truly responsible, and that's when, like, having responsible parents also comes into play as well. That comes in clutch, pretty much. You know what I mean? Because they'll be there to help you. Like, responsible parents would do things such as, like, keeping track with you on, like, almost having like a checklist, like with what you did in the beginning of the semester. You printed out syllabuses and, like, checking, like, okay, did you do this quiz today? Are you doing this quiz, like, on Friday? Stuff like that. That's an example of a responsible parent and what they would do. You know, an irresponsible parent, for example, would be like, hope you get an A. That's practically what it is.
Well, the one thing that I think all parents want their children to succeed.
Exactly.
And I didn't mean to interrupt you here, but there's one thing that happened, you know, kind of early in me and your mom's marriage that, you know, I really, really think was a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
That taught you responsibility and accountability. And your mom thought I was nuts at first for even implying what manifested from it. Do you know what kind of taught you the responsibility and everything?
Oh boy, you're putting me on the spot.
I am putting you on the spot. It's probably the most important thing to you. Yeah.
I love video games.
You love video games.
Yeah.
So there was a point in time, you know, that Ilyas's dad bought him a PlayStation, bought him a Nintendo Switch.
Thank you for both, by the way.
Okay. But sleep was going not sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
Grades were starting to struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What'd your mom want to do?
No more video games. We're done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Throw them out.
Yeah. Exactly.
Throw them out.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But, you know, I am so lucky to have a wife who listens, and, like, we can have those discussions. We can have those disagreements, and, you know, working in child and adolescent psych, you know, what she saw as him being a slacker, which he wasn't being a slacker, but I saw as motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Staying up and playing video games for extended periods of time shows motivation.
True.
He was motivated to play those video games.
Exactly.
So I proposed that if he gets straight A's, if he goes to school when he needs to, okay, we don't monitor his sleep and we don't monitor his video game play.
True.
Which taught you what?
Which taught me to be it taught me like the balance of life almost, like work hard, play hard. That's a thing my mom really likes to say.
Yes.
It's like and it also taught me like responsibility in that as front as well.
And that was I'm so glad you brought that responsibility, because if there's one thing me and your mother both want for you, it's that responsibility and that accountability, because if you're driven to be successful, we've done our job.
Exactly.
You know, us trying to make you successful. With parents, when you try to make your children successful, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
You can't like mold them.
No, find out what motivates them and encourage, I don't want to say use that, but use that to get them to be accountable for their own success and their own gain of knowledge, you know? And they get to do the things they enjoy too. How did that work out?
Oh, it worked out. It worked pretty well for me. I won't lie. Like, okay, so after that happened, I was more motivated to take accountability for my own schooling. For example, like this was around the time that I was still like in high school and just high school. You know, like I wasn't balancing high school and college, for example. So it was then that I was like, okay, so if I want to play my video games and I want to get better at the video games that I play, I need to get I need to do better in my schooling. And so after that, I put in a lot more time to school. Like immediately after I got home and like ate a bit of lunch and all that, like I would immediately go and like study like super hard, like for tests and all that. Like I studied the periodic table because I was studying like science at that time. And after that, like I got like A's on A's on A's on A's on A's, and it was
Which got you into what?
got me more video games.
Got you more video games, got you into PSEO.
Yeah, PSEO.
Yeah,
PSEO
post-secondary. It's where you attend college while you're in high school.
Exactly. Got me into RCTC, and I couldn't be more thankful, honestly. Thank you so much, man.
No, you know, and you know, people that are listening out there, please, like significant others, if your spouse comes up with a crazy idea, I mean, you know, what kind of parent says, yeah, the kid doesn't need to sleep. If he wants to stay up and play video games all night, as long as he gets A's and goes to school, I don't care. Yeah, how would that fall? But my wife supported me, you know, and supported us.
Communication as well.
Yeah, no, and the communication and the, you know, and I think it comes from stepping back and not being territorial and thinking it's about winning.
Exactly.
Thinking it's about
Working.
does this person is this person really, is their agenda actually the success of the person they're trying to help?
Exactly.
And you know, once, you know, I know me and my wife always go back to that, and Ilyas too. I think when we come at him with stuff, he doesn't get as defensive, you know, and because he knows we love him, and we've proven it, right? Right, bro. You're the best. You are. You are. I love you, man. But anyways, but yeah. So, you know, responsibility, accountability, they're beautiful things.
They really are. They really are.
You know?
And I'd say the third thing that you guys do really, really well is pushing me to do the things that like I want to do and the things that are better for me. You know what I mean? And that kind of, that ties more into responsibility, but I think it's like so big that it kind of has its own category. If you picking up what I'm putting down, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm picking it up and I'm lifting it. 2, 3,
There we go.
4. Okay.
Like with the motivation thing, like exactly like what you were talking about earlier, like you motivated me to like be better at my schooling, and that transitioned into me playing more video games. I used it as like a motivator almost, and which was like very good. You guys pushed me into doing a lot of stuff with video games as well. Like you guys pushed me to go into like tournaments. You guys pushed me like tournaments offline and online, streaming as well. You guys really pushed me into streaming, and I can't thank you guys enough, honestly. Streaming, by the way, twitch.tv/silverpc. Check me out.
Yeah, check out Silver PC on Twitch.
Yeah. But like, motivating is like really helps me because I'm lazy. I'm so lazy.
Well, I think baseline we all are. You know, and I think as parents, that's our job. Our job is, you know, not to demand, but to guide. but to give the opportunity but to find that motivation, find what gives them, I kind of have to nudge him in the direction, but when I nudge him, that momentum he has because he's going towards something he loves. He loves video games.
It goes directly forward.
Yes, it just plows forward. Then you have your son become part of a business with you. Our video games have become a family business.
Exactly.
He makes money. He makes money with it. He has learned communication skills.
Of course.
A lot of this communication that's going on right now, he's learned from doing commentary at the tournament he plays.
Exactly.
And he's a natural. He's a natural, really. But I mean, the tournaments did give you the headset and put you in front of the camera.
In fact, actually, all of this kind of ties into each other, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like communication, like communicating. Okay, so this is what this is what we think would be best for you, and then we talk that out, and that turns into motivation, and that also turns into me being responsible for that thing. And then once with that motivation, for me, for example, it's with video games and streaming. Streaming means I got to talk a lot. Video games, like a tournament, means I'm commentating, which means I'm also talking a lot. Ties more into communication, and I'm also responsible for those streaming and all that.
And that's what, when you guys are home right now alone, now is the time to forge these things. So can you summarize that? Can you go through that?
Okay, sure.
That,
I mean, you can really hop onto any of these first.
But you kind of put them in a good order. I don't know if it can come back or if it was just random. Okay, they do. They are intertwined. They do. One affects the other, that affects the other, that affects the other. But if you could kind of summarize what you just said.
Communication.
Parents, listen to this.
Listen up.
Yeah.
Communication, which leads to motivation, which then leads to having that responsibility and accountability for what you're doing, which leads into those other two that we were talking about earlier. It's like it's a self-sufficient almost.
Exactly. No, totally. And like your mom always says, be a producer, not a consumer, buddy. Be a producer, not a consumer. But but it's brilliant. That's where success comes from. That's where joy comes from.
Exactly.
Produce love, produce kindness. Don't consume it, produce it. It comes back. It comes back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So one more time. So what you said is
Motivation.
You go
Communication. Motivation.
Goes to motivation.
Then it goes into accountability and responsibility.
Perfect. Which then cycles through,
and
you communicate with others, and then that bubble starts out. You do the same thing with your friends, which then, eventually you do the same thing at school, at work. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that is, honestly, that's a formula for success.
It is. Honestly,
communication leads to motivation, leads to responsibility and accountability, leads to success.
Especially now, with families being trapped inside and all that, and especially with the snow out right now. I'm not sure if you guys live in the Rochester area or probably even the cities.
Yeah.
It's snowing extremely hard. Oof.
Yeah.
But now is the time to get the ball rolling. You know what I mean? Just start off with the communication part. That communication is so key.
It's so key. And I think the part we forget as parents, and kids, it's universal. Something about humans, and especially I've got this issue. Your mother will testify, I'm sure, when she comes on here. But I like to hear my own voice.
Of course.
But the key to communication is what?
The key to communication is understanding.
Understanding and what?
Oh boy.
Key to communication.
Key to communication.
Look at our anatomical makeup. Okay, what's the key to communication?
Speaking of empathy. Oh, listening. I see.
Yes. Mm-hmm. We have 2 ears and we have 1 mouth. If you speak and interrupt and don't listen,
there's no communication.
Because what message does that send to others?
They're not listening to me.
And that's one thing I love about you, son. So many times when those anxiety things get me and your mother off, you stop and you're silent and you listen. I know parents out there, you're probably jealous. We have a very easy an easy ally to work with, to guide. He's an amazing kid, but what I found is if I model what he's doing, like I want him to model what I'm doing, I can learn too. You know, that silence and that listening and that kind of calm presence you bring helps me too.
You can, parents, you can definitely learn from your kids.
Well, and I think it's vital. And I think I don't know, you know, that's not something they teach in school.
It's not. No.
You know, and it's not something when you get out there, you feel like, oh, I'm the parent, I have to know everything. That's trouble.
Nobody knows anything.
Nobody knows anything. But, you know, being sincere, being honest, you know, living under that formula that communication, you know, equals motivation, which equals responsibility, and accountability, which equals success. You know, really living that to the maximum, you know, that's gonna breed success, you know, probably monetarily. It's gonna bring success, like, you know, as far as relationship wise, family wise, you know, which is what else is there to ask for than those things?
Like,
you know,
it's perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and like another big take. I think so. We have two big takeaways from this this stream that we're having right now.
Yeah.
It's right now we're all human, every single one of us.
Yes.
So we all gotta empathize and we all have to listen. And two, use these, not just this. I think that's a big thing.
That's a huge thing. Mm-hmm. You know, these.
Yeah, because
not this.
You have well, I guess technically three communication tools on your body, on your person. These two and this.
Yes. Well, you can wink and stuff too.
Yeah, I got. Oh yeah, and you can also use like sign language.
So yeah, there's body language and that sort of thing. But you know what we're kind of talking about here, the more verbal aspect of things. You know, listen first, speak second.
Exactly.
You know. And listening doesn't just mean hearing sounds.
It means understanding.
And knowing where people are coming from, you know, and realizing that this is another human being that you care about.
Exactly.
And who cares for you, you know? You know, and I think that's of vital importance.
It's so important.
Important.
Especially like we're talking about how important communication is, like having good communication. It's not just having communication, it's like having productive communication. It's a big thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, because I think that's what people fall into a lot, is to communicate just to communicate.
Exactly. Like, don't just talk because you like hearing the sound of your own voice, you know what I mean? Like, talk because you have a purpose and you want to help the other person, you know?
Yeah. Well, and that's one thing I've learned from you, Seth. Because you're very, you're very reflective. And you know, I try to front that I am, but sometimes I just blah, 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 you know, but I've learned from your kind of inner peace and calmness and intelligence. Calm down and listen.
I've learned that from you guys too. Like, sometimes I like to think that I know everything. I mean, I know close.
It's kind of hard when
I know close to everything.
When you do know a lot.
I know close to everything, but I don't know everything. But like, you guys like give such a unique point of view, and like your wisdom also helps me like understand, and it tells me like, chill out and I'll just listen to what people have to say, you know?
Yeah. No, that's awesome, bud. That is awesome. Serious. You know. So what other tips, man?
Tips. Ooh. Well, let's see. So another big thing that we can do is just like being involved in your kid's life and like understanding what they're going through. I think that's another big thing, you know? Like in terms of communication, like in order to like fully communicate, you have to understand like, okay, what is my child or what's my friend, like what's their viewpoint in life right now, right?
Yeah.
So like say like your friends just lost their job, for example, right? So you can understand then that they'll probably be more emotional in terms of in terms of communication rather than actually like having a factual conversation, I guess. And like that isn't a bad thing. That's just something that happens with humans. That's just something that naturally happens.
So they're speaking out of emotion instead of out of facts and kind of logic.
And that like it happens to everybody, honestly. But like you shouldn't shame them for it. Rather than you should understand it and then like form it into your communication as well. You know, like say your friend is like your friend's talking more emotionally rather than like I don't want to say intelligently because that sounds rude, but more so
You
with
know
their
what?
with facts.
We're not trying to be offensive of anybody. If somebody takes it that way, oh well.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, you know, but I think what you're saying makes sense. If
Mhm.
somebody's like speaking out of, you know, bad circumstances and emotion
Mhm.
instead of logic.
You understand that, form it into your words, be more delicate, and tell them. I think a part of that would also be telling them that, like, I understand how you feel. Like stressing that, like, I understand the point of view that you're in. I understand that you're in a tough spot right now, and then like continue on with your point. But then like still stressing that, like, I understand your pain. I understand what you're going through. That's like a big thing,
Right.
especially like with a kid. Like say, like going back to like a parent and kid thing.
No, that's what I was just gonna ask you actually, but you're always ahead of the game. That's my boy. Thank you, man.
With parent and kid thing, like say your kid didn't make it onto the basketball team, like they didn't cut it. Like say you can forward it to communication saying like, okay, I know you're upset, I know you're mad, but like use this as a motivator. That's, for example, that's another thing you can use for communication.
Yep. Which goes back to
Which
our
goes-
cycle,
yeah.
which is our cycle.
Yeah, which goes into like communication, motivation, and then responsibility and accountability. And then like once that kid starts to become motivated or to become better at playing basketball, then they become like accountable for it and they're responsible for it, and then that leads back into like hopefully them getting onto the basketball team.
Yeah, exactly. Or, you know, finding it, even if they don't, it can be a lifelong passion that keeps them in shape, helps them make friends, you know, all those sort of things.
Absolutely.
You know, hobbies, anything you're motivated for doesn't necessarily, I mean, sometimes you're lucky enough that you can have fun doing it, get rest from doing it, make money doing it. I mean, once in a while, something falls out of the sky that works that way.
Yeah.
But motivation is motivation. You know, if they're motivated to play sports, even if they don't make the team,
Then
if it brings them motivation, support that. Please support that. You know, it's
And
not.
if it
It's
makes
about
them
the journey, not about the destination.
yeah, and like if it makes them happy too, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
no.
that's all. Like playing sports is like super fulfilling, you know. So like it can keep them in shape, like fulfilling, and like also a sense of accomplishment, even if they do make the team. You know, it's like
So a couple things came up in my brain while you were talking about that. So one, like, what about the parents out there that are saying, "Oh yeah, this is all fine and well for you guys, but my teenager won't talk to me."
well, that would mean that you would have to have better communication. I think. You know what I mean? Like appeal to what. That also goes back to understanding your kid. So your teenager won't talk to you probably means that your communication isn't the best with them, or you're not speaking on their level, you know. And that doesn't mean like having slang or like, yo, what's up, my man, or
Yo,
anything like
yo.
that. It doesn't mean anything like it means
That still doesn't.
one day I'll get back into shape, but it means that like speaking to them, it's just speaking to like who they are as a person rather than just your kid, you know. Like instead of just like the cookie cutter, like, hey kid, how's it going? It would go like, hey bud, like and then like talking to them about one of their passions, and then like you can connect that slowly but surely into like any other communication form as well, such as like if you want them to, for example, maybe they're skipping classes, for example, right? You can appeal to their senses, and then you can slowly form that into a communication builder, and then like lead that into them going back to classes, for example, right?
No, perfect. You know, and I think knowing them is huge. I think.
Yeah.
You know, I think so many times parents want their child to be successful. Parents want to do the right thing. So all they do is criticize to try to push the kid towards where they want instead of seeing what motivates them.
Exactly.
You know, which has to do with exactly with what you were saying, understanding and listening. Thank you, by the way, Casey. Good to see you, Casey Summers. Always love it when you guys,
thumbs up.
or when you tune in and watch us. Appreciate that.
Much love.
Yeah, much love. Yeah, so
Because I think having a motivator, like seeing a benefit to doing something right, is better than seeing something that a detriment to doing something not right, I guess.
Exactly. So like I think in psychiatry they call that positive reinforcement.
Yes, that's the term I was looking for. Yeah.
Which what's that all about?
Positive reinforcement is basically having you want someone to do a certain habit or get into a certain motivation pattern or something like that, and then you would reward them practically, and then that would continue that would be act as a motivator for sorts. Like what's a good example of this? Like a horse, for example, with a carrot on the string. You know that example?
Yeah.
That's like positive reinforcement right there. Like they're well, I mean, it's not exactly because the horse doesn't really get the carrot.
Well, the one thing that's that's important about positive reinforcement is you stay neutral to the things that maybe aren't the best. If as long as it's safe and it's not hurting somebody, rather than be critical. But all the things they do good, you feed that. You say, "Good job! Wow, look at this!" You don't mention the D in music.
Yeah.
But you praise the A in algebra.
Exactly.
Or opposite. You don't mention the D in algebra, but you praise the A in music, and just say, you know what? Hey, is there any other classes that maybe we can give you some more support in? But nice job on that music.
Like you want to go into music or something like that.
Yeah,
exactly.
and then and that shows where they're motivated. I mean, I had an advantage with you because I like video games too.
Video games, Marvel.
Video games, Marvel. I mean, I was lucky. Like, no, really, I was lucky. Like, it was a match made in heaven. And I just am very blessed and lucky that happened. But one thing, this brings up something else that your mom and I were talking about the coronavirus pandemic and stuff, and what's going on. That maybe you can speak to parents out there how this is going. Your mom was talking about when she was in Somalia and war broke out, and she remembers coming from school, and her grandma was like rushing her through the they lived in the military
compound,
compound, and her grandmother was like rushing her through like by the soldiers, and the soldiers that were on protecting her, but still there were soldiers there. The gates were all closed, and it impacted her. She was a little girl at that point in time, but it stuck. How is this epidemic, like how is this affecting the youth, and how is it affecting you, and how can we support that?
I'd say for right now, it's a little bit too early to tell how it's going to be affecting kids from now into the long term, and so how parents could help with that. But I do have a theory.
Okay.
A theory that I have is that kids growing up in this time right now would be growing in a more isolated environment, and so they'd be more adverse to going outside and doing physical activities and such.
So you're saying they're almost the kids of this era have almost already been conditioned for this isolation because
actually kind of exactly, yeah, because everyone's been on the internet. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, that's actually really funny, isn't it?
He's brilliant. What can I say? He is brilliant.
Boom shot.
Yeah, that's true. The telephones, the video games, the internet.
Yeah. And it's just we're already kind of in this scenario where we're kind of already prepped for staying indoors. However, that may become difficult down the line once the pandemic clears up and parents want people to be more outside and with having more of just physical interaction, especially with PE and all that. That's I with me, I definitely put on a couple pounds. I can tell.
So in context to what we were talking about with your mother, and how that memory kind of ingrained in her head, and kind of similar. I was alive during Mount St. Helens, and when that blew, I still can remember. I was a little kid, but I can remember everything. Trying to catch the snowflakes, which were actually ash in my mouth. All those things. But so you're thinking that it's not going to have as traumatic of a
it wouldn't because
impact?
I wouldn't say that because people are already kind of prepped for it, as we said earlier, but at the same time I can definitely see if some people are forced to go outside nowadays, that them being like forced to like rush super quick, and like seeing that like everything's being like taken out of supply and all that, and everyone's freaking out, that might provide a traumatic experience. But I'm not sure how many people would be affected by that, because I think it's a little bit too early to tell.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm guessing if it goes on longer.
It would definitely become like a bigger traumatic experience for a lot more people.
Yeah. So from a kid's perspective, how do you think the parents can be supportive as things go on, and maybe supplies get maybe that toilet paper starts running out. That's a scary thing.
That would be quite scary. Like I think one thing parents could do is communication again. Like talk to them about like, okay, this is like a scary time, but don't forget like we're here for you. Like if you have any like questions about or like if you have any lingering issues with what's going on right now in this current climate, just like talk to us, and also like get into the activities that they're doing, like indoors as well, just so they're not lonely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if they want to watch a movie, call them over to watch a movie or something, or like play video games with them or something if they're into that. As for me, of course, I don't want you messing up my video game.
I thought it was an invitation.
I'm sorry, bud.
I thought I was gonna get to play.
Hey, you got
Finally.
You got me on movies though. Movies.
There we go.
All
All right. Yeah.
Mhm.
We'll all rock those.
Yeah,
together.
Marvel Marathon. Yeah.
That's a good idea. How about from like the perspective of them? How can they go about? And I don't know if I've failed in this area or not, but stuff has changed a lot as far as financially and stuff for a lot of people.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it's really even kicked in or not, but lots of people are getting laid off and those sort of things. How do you communicate that to your kids without having them become fearful?
That's a very touchy subject too. Let's see. So you have to basically put it depends on the age, I would say. Like if it's someone my age, you might have to just break it down flat. Yeah, like because a person my age, I think, would appreciate it just being like broken it down to them instead of just like sugarcoating it.
Okay.
Like a person like my age.
So what do you mean by like breaking it down?
Like breaking it down as in like saying like, oh, we're kind of low on funds right now, instead of saying that. Like a person on like my age area, like late teens,
right.
I would think would probably appreciate something more of like, oh, due to this coronavirus area, like my job is I've been laid off, for example. But then you can also have to have that safety net so they don't panic and say like, oh, we still have a lot of money like saved up, for example,
Right.
but we still have, but then also lay down precautions, like we still have to watch out, and like we can't be as spendy in this area,
So just kind of vocalizing to them, hey guys, like we gotta cut down on the Amazon spending.
Mhm.
We're not gonna be able to go out to eat.
Mhm. Like we're probably gonna have to cut Netflix.
Yeah. Certain, just kind of in advance, letting them know instead of kind of dropping that ball, right?
Yeah, because you don't. Okay, when it comes to late teens, like me, breaking, like.
Yeah.
It's a delicate balance you have to do, because you can't sugarcoat it, but you can't just drop it like a bomb.
Yeah.
You can't just like say like,
Yeah, because you don't want to destroy their world either, and that's what it kind of always worries me. You're my bud, and I always want to keep you informed. But like, at the end of the day, it's my responsibility. I don't want to scare you.
Yeah.
But let you know that things, it's not fair to not let you know that things are going to be changing.
Exactly. Like you can't just like keep them out of the dark. You just have you have to tell them at some point.
Yeah. And so then you like force them to do a YouTube, channel with you. So then, you just pray that you get enough subscribers. Please subscribe. So we can, make money to make it.
Exactly.
No, I'm very.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Well, why don't we try that?
We should probably.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, no, that's really good advice, and moving forward, I really think that Ilyas, has shared a lot. I appreciate that I have a son that's willing to share from his heart. willing to be sincere, and just because as we mentioned, it's time for us to do the talking.
Yeah.
We have to start looking
Sit
out
down,
for each other.
Chris Cuomo.
Yes, sit down, Chris Cuomo, Sean Hannity, like I don't know, whoever, whatever, all those talking heads. You know what I mean? It's time for us to listen to each other. It's time for us to support each other. It's time for us to come up with solutions together.
Exactly.
And that needs to be a collaboration that's cross-generational.
Exactly. Yeah, like this, like as we said, like last time, like this is like we should set the tone for the rest of humanity, like now.
Yeah, it's the time.
Yeah, it's
and it's time also that we revamp many areas where it's been us versus them, and realize it's just us.
It's just us. And like we may have disagreements, but it's still like us. We're humans.
Yeah. And baseline what human beings do is disagree. And there's nothing wrong with disagreeing.
Of course.
The problem is when we start viewing that because somebody disagrees with us, they're an adversary to us.
Yes, like it's the disagreement itself is not a problem at all. In fact, that's human nature, but it's the response to that that's the issue.
Why do people disagree?
It's like the territorial part of our brains, I think, that are like, okay, they're disagreeing with my way of life. I can't take this. Shut up and stuff like that.
Well, I think it's almost a manifestation of personification, like who you are, like manifestation of who you really are inside, kind of what makes us all unique, and there's that fight to say, hey, I'm different, I'm unique, I have different perspectives, which is actually a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is. Like people tie their being to their ideas, and that's very cool. It's almost like a copyright almost. But then once that copyright is infringed, that's an issue.
Look at that. The copyright infringed. This guy is going places.
I got words, bro.
No, that is a perfect example, because that's what happens. Then it feels like a violation of the copyright, and then you get upset instead of going, okay, all that person's doing is putting their copyright out there too. Why can't I appreciate their copyright? Yeah. And as long as it doesn't cross over into mine,
as long as I abide by the copyright laws of theirs, then
or maybe we can talk about it and we can write a book together.
Yeah, there we go.
And I think that's how this family works.
Yeah,
absolutely. Right? We disagree. We lay our grounds with the copyright and all that stuff, and then we go, hey, you know what? I think we could all capitalize on this if we just wrote the book together, right?
Yeah, let's just share this copyright.
Yeah, exactly. There I go again with my what's up with that?
Family.
So, there I go again. Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate having an audience. We appreciate your support, your encouragement. It's been awesome. Like I said, the feedback and support that was given for our episode last night, that's
it was incredible.
Yeah, and we just thank you so much, and hopefully this is like, applicable to your life. You can use this to, just, communicate, motivate, and, become accountable, responsible.
Exactly.
And achieve
Get
success.
the ball rolling on that.
That's what we want. That's what we want for everybody. We need your feedback too, though. We would love to have some comments. We would love to have ideas for other shows.
Exactly. Drop some topics you want us to cover.
Yeah. Drop the topics.
Get hashtag Get Rashida on the live.
Yes. Hashtag Get Rashida. Rashida is coming.
We need that trending on Twitter. I expect it by the morning.
Yes. Hashtag Where's Rashida?
That's what I like.
She's coming. And you guys will love when you meet her.
Oh boy.
Right?
Absolutely.
All right. So just to wrap up, another learning to live. Be strong. Be brave. Be courageous. Take care. Please hit the subscribe button, bottom right-hand corner. Appreciate it. The little bell, ding, 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 too. So when we go live, when we, update our page and get some more content out there. And just thanks for your support. Have a great night. Take care.
Love.